This ad I'm looking at right here says the mountains are calling and I must go. Welcome back, guys. Massive YouTube Iceberg explained tier 6 2. Let's get it. Nothing more to say. Shout out to Swag, shout out to Potted Plant, shout out to everyone that is enjoying the series. Been gone for a minute for this one, but I'm ready and I'm letting go more. Don't worry, I wanted to say this also. If you watch a little bit more of my esoteric content, I don't really care about the comments that I get that say, you know, that I'm a thief or whatever. Man, it is what it is. It's just that comes with the territory of being on the internet. Though, I appreciate you guys saying, you know, to keep doing you. And I hope through what my actions and what I do, I inspire you to keep doing yourself and be yourself. Sounds odd. But let's go. Enough yapping. Let's go. Just got out of work and feeling good. I think that was the quickest intro I've done. Now I have to make the next part of this even faster. Let's do it. I'm glad to be back though.
Hello and welcome.
By the way, the series you guys recommend down below, I'm definitely willing to check out. I just got to see how I'm going to do them, manage my time a little bit. I'm still getting things in order, making a really big move from Texas. So yeah, just all right.
Welcome back once again to the massive
got a lot of stuff.
YouTube Iceberg. Today we'll be continuing on with tier 6, but before I do that, I'd like to thank you all for getting me to 1,000 subscribers. Hopefully this means I can get a good
Where are you at now? 11K.
amount of money from AdSense and stuff like that, provided YouTube doesn't mind that I talk about, well, all the things that I talk about in this series. But seriously though, this is a crazy milestone for me, and I can't stress enough how thankful I am to have a nice little fan base that enjoys listening to me talk about weird bullshit on my favorite website. Without further ado, let's continue.
Biggest thing too for me, and why I like to, you know, it sucks because it's such a balance of trying to like respond to certain comments and try to respond to all comments, is it's really the community aspect of when you're building your channel, which is dope to me. That's more what the pay is. That's the payout for me over YouTube paying you AdSense and everything. Dude, like I even started feeling weird when I had ads on my video. I made a whole video. It's somewhere on my channel. You could probably find me talking about it. But I think the biggest payout is getting to interact with people just all over. It's just super fun. But all right, we got a creepy stalker security camera footage. Ooh.
We Got a Creepy Stalker is a video uploaded in 2017 by a user named That Man in Black. It's security footage from the uploader's front porch, starts with the car pulling up to the man's wife, asking her if she needs a ride, right in front of her house, and then the car drives away. The next day, the car pulls into the driveway, sitting in the car and watches the house before leaving.
Please let me know this is an ARG. Damn. She's smart because she got in the house immediately, I'm assuming, but damn, that is such bad timing. Because, yeah, damn.
After that, he stops in front of the house before leaving again, and it seems throughout the video he just keeps on stopping in front of the house day in and day out. He also apparently leaves messages telling the wife that he needs help from her around his house, and even said it to her in person at the supermarket. It would seem as if, according to the comment section...
Oh, yeah, we called the police a long time ago. This guy was just an old man with Alzheimer type issues. The other car driver is a different issue. That one was way more scary. We called 911 because of it. I said 911. That's not funny. Wait, you had more stalkers? Yeah, there was an old guy. Then someone who came here during the nighttime. Dude, this is crazy. I had someone show up to my house early when I started earlier in the channel, like 2 years ago.
The two cars were two separate people. The first, an old man with Alzheimer's, and the second, a genuinely dangerous person that the uploader had to get police involved to deal with. There are 3 update videos on the situation, with what I believe to be the second car continuously returning through the days and nights, even throwing piss bottles at the house. After the police became involved in the final update video, it would seem the stalkers would never come to That Man in Black's house ever again.
Yeah. Throwing piss bottles? Odd way to
Uncle Chuck is a video uploaded in 2006 by a user named Noah Glass, and like a lot of other videos from that time, it's a...
My bad, Swag. Warning, I'm about to show slight gore. Not sure if this is going to be considered gore, but better safe than sorry.
family home video.
Did you blur it, Swag? Probably.
So, although immediately when watching the video, you'll notice something is a bit off about the focus being Uncle Chuck himself. Mainly the fact that, I don't know, he's missing not only his left eye, but also a good chunk of his face, leaving a giant gaping hole where the eye once was. The eye was removed as part of a surgical procedure about 6 years before the video's upload, and normally he wears an eye patch, but in this case, he's taking off the eye patch and showing everyone the hole.
I've seen this.
And you can, like, really see the inside of his head, possibly seeing his skull and vocal cords as he talks. With all that being said, though, this video isn't really unnerving, all things considered. It feels very real and has a lot of his family members joking around with him about his predicament, and he seems very comfortable. Sadly, according to the comment section, Uncle Chuck passed away 4 months after this video was uploaded, and all the rest of the comments seem very...
Oh, hi, I'm Uncle Chuck's son. First, I want to thank those of you who showed compassion for my dad. He was an amazing man. He lived about another 3 years after the video. He had been taking care of my mother who had Alzheimer's. I do not think he had any idea this was going to be shown on YouTube. I don't know what he would have thought, but it troubles all of his kids because of the inane chatter or insane chatter. He was a proud and decent man. Please treat him that way.
very compassionate
That's so wholesome. The internet's the wrong place to put something wholesome. No, I'm just joking.
and respectful
Obvious.
towards the situation and passive.
That's nice.
Interestingly, the uploader Noah Glass in the same year would become one of the co-founders of Twitter, giving it its iconic name.
This is how I get paid.
What? That is what? That's wild. That's weird. That's so cool. That's so cool.
Misha Buu, real name Tamisha Evett Ridge, was a YouTuber who joined in 2013 and primarily made fashion vlogs focusing on teaching her viewers how to make DIY clothes on a low budget. Her videos would also sometimes focus on her family and friends, and she was all around a very positive channel. Outside of the internet, she had 3 kids and was an up-and-coming fashion designer. However, tragically in 2014, Tamisha was found dead in her home in Sacramento, California via gunshot wound. The culprit was her ex-boyfriend, Demeshlo Green, who shot and killed her with a shotgun shortly after their breakup, leaving behind her 3 kids without a mother or a father. He got a life sentence and is currently rotting away in prison, and Tamisha's YouTube channel, along with all of its videos, still remain on the platform as a haunting reminder. Nashi Ikoni, better known by its English title
I
Arc.
got chills immediately. That last one, bro. We need a moment of silence, man. And I mean that. I don't mean to laugh. It's this face, but that why, bro? Why? Yeah. Dude. See, that's where that meme comes in right here. Women are gonna choose the bear. I said it.
Our Icons is a song and music video by Ensemble of Christ the Savior and Crude Mother Earth. The video features this weird zombie nun-looking person as they begin singing in Russian about how great Russia is, saying their leader is better than Hitler? Well, I would sure hope so. The description gives more information about the band. According to the uploader, the band is one of the most uncompromising and totally politically incorrect musical projects of the Russian national underground scene, and they define themselves as radical political hardcore. Initially, I thought this was some kind of political song promoting Nazism or some other ideology like that, but honestly, this feels like a more political and more Russian version of Filthy Frank. I mean, just look at what's going on in the video, and also, you know, him saying he wants to have sex with Stalin in the lyrics. Or maybe it's not ironic and they're just insane. I don't know what goes on in Russia, man.
I really don't have a comment for that one, to be honest with you.
Mr. Sleepy People, alongside the rest of the quote-unquote eyeball fetish community, is one of the strangest YouTube rabbit holes, as you might be able to guess from that basic title.
Eyeball fetish.
The channel joined as far back as 2011, and they've been uploading these
To each their own.
bizarre videos focusing on people's eyeballs. You know, going up to them and lifting up their eyelids and focusing the camera on them. Now, this is already pretty fucking weird, right? But still, it's most likely a harmless fetish, not unlike many other entries you've already seen on the Iceberg. And, well, let's face it, continue to see for the rest of the series. Or at least, that's what I would say. You see, many of the videos would have Mr. Sleepy People focusing on women that appear to be unconscious, meaning that this is not a harmless fetish, but rather sexual assault. Or, I don't know if it's considered sexual assault, but it's definitely assault of some kind. While the
Eyeball
uploader
assault.
claimed that the women in the videos were drunk or passed out, which is already insanely creepy and illegal.
Yeah, that's not helping your case. It's like you wonder, right? If if the
As is. Evidence suggests that he instead would drug them and kidnap them, given that these seem to be not filmed in public. Or perhaps they're just his friends or roommates that he's still non-consensually doing this to. In some of the videos, he even goes as far to touch and poke at the eyes, and on some occasions,
okay, no.
fucking licks them, which
Okay, nah.
kind of cements it as not an edgy art project or ARG, in case that's what you were thinking this was, like that one 00390 guy. Human eyes automatically react to stimuli, so if you have any degree of control over your body, like say an actor pretending to be asleep, you couldn't really have someone poke your eye like that. Unless you're, you know, a really, really good actor. The comments on these videos would be predictably depraved, applauding this guy for doing this kind of thing. Perhaps the most shocking thing about this channel is that it was, again, active since 2011 and was deleted shortly after Nick Crowley's video in 2020. Not by YouTube's hands, but rather his own, most likely embarrassed or something by the sudden publicity. That's nearly a decade of creeping on people's eyeballs. This channel existed on YouTube for longer than YouTube has existed without it. Worst part is that, while Mr. Sleepy People was thankfully terminated, there are several other channels all over YouTube that do similar shit to this. Somnophilia, I believe, is the name, the fetish for sleeping or otherwise unconscious people. And besides, it's not like Mr. Sleepy People himself ever got arrested or anything, he just deleted his YouTube channel, so he's most likely still out there, which...
Before I let that go too far, somnophilia, like, I can see how every single couple in the world kind of has that. Do you know how cute it is to look at your partner sleeping? The washer. Anyways, you know how cute it is to look at your partner sleeping if you got a boyfriend or a girlfriend? Maybe you think they're ugly as hell. I don't know. I don't know. I think we all have. I might have that.
isn't a very comforting thought.
Experiments in the Revival
Experiments
of
in the Revival of
Organisms?
Organisms is a Soviet motion picture released in 1940, documenting various
Here
scientific
we go.
research experiments focusing around the revival of clinically dead organisms, using a dog as an example. First, they start with the heart of a canine, isolated from its body and still beating as if it were living, and then it shows a still operating lung. After that, the audience is introduced to the autojector, a heart-lung machine that was one of the most important advancements in modern medicine. The dog's severed fucking head is connected to its heart and lung through this machine, and they bring it to the point of death by draining the blood from its body, before bringing the blood back 10 minutes later, effectively killing it and bringing it back to life. The film ends with the dog back to normal, living a healthy life, according to the film. It's baffling that that's even a thing that was ever made in the first place. The severe amount of animal cruelty present is very apparent, as the dog's head responds to stimuli, gnashing its teeth around and licking its nose, meaning that's very clearly conscious. This is all juxtaposed against the cheery English narrator explaining how this is the future of medicine. Now, many historians over the years have questioned the authenticity of this film, like how they lied about a couple things in the video, like the dog not living a healthy life and instead dying a couple days later. Still, though, it's astounding that this video even exists in the public eye. You think this is the kind of thing that would be confidential and people make conspiracy theories about, but no, here it is on fucking YouTube. And even being referenced in pop culture, such as being sampled by MF Doom and referenced in a Team Fortress 2 cosmetic. Shit's crazy.
Yo, that's crazy that it spread into that. Give me one sec. Gotta get the laundry. Alright. Up to my knees.
Max Landis, otherwise known on YouTube as Up to My Knees, is a Hollywood screenwriter, director, and comic book writer. Most well known for the films Chronicle, American Ultra, Victor Frankenstein, Bright, and Me, Him, Her, which honestly I've never heard of any of these movies, but like whatever. He's also well known on YouTube for those The Slap videos where people are paired up with their friends and told to slap each other. He's also the son of the famous director John Landis, known for directing the music video for Michael Jackson's Thriller, as well as the Twilight Zone movie, you know, the one with the helicopter accident that killed 3 actors. Anyways, that's a complete tangent. I believe the reason why he's here is because in 2017 he came under fire thanks to some sexual abuse allegations, with many women in the industry saying that it was kind of an open secret in Hollywood. And no one really brought it up because him and his dad are very powerful figures. His ex...
I mean, okay, yeah, like all the stuff that, yeah, man, like, I think, I remember having a conversation that kind of was similar to this at work, that, you know, I mean, it's stuff that everybody knows at this point. I mean, like, I feel like you honestly have the legit grace of God, the universe, whatever, if you don't know about this stuff, dude. I can't believe the certain rabbit holes I've gone down, man. The stuff in Hollywood is wild, dude. And just things like this aren't even shocking, man. It's like, it's just like another everyday, like, for Hollywood. But there was an actor, and I don't remember who said it, or it was like an actor or someone had this quote, but they said if there was a hell that existed, it would be Hollywood.
Girlfriend said he did,
I mean, that says a lot.
Quote, horrific, inhumane things to her, and one woman said he was a serial rapist, gaslighter, physical and psychological abuser. It seems there have been a couple times where he's responded to the accusations, saying that they're a corrupt enterprise, though he conceded that some of what's been said about him is true. Past this point, his career would kind of stall, although he still uploads to YouTube with a pretty loyal fan base.
Was that video that you were showing him, like, addressing the allegations? Jeepers. Oh shoot, no.
Man, the first bit of this video is pretty Russian, isn't it? Zelimkhan Bakaev was a pop singer born in Grozny, the capital of Chechnya, a republic that's considered a part of Russia. He rapidly gained popularity over the course of the mid-2010s, becoming famous not only in Chechnya, but also Russia as a whole, with many of his songs being smash hits. However, in 2017, Bakaev took a trip to his hometown of Grozny for his sister's wedding, and was due back in Moscow a few days later. However, Bakaev would never be seen back in Moscow ever again. He traveled around town in Grozny and was promptly never seen again, with his phone permanently shut off and all of his social media terminated. There wasn't an official explanation given as to why he disappeared, but 2 eyewitnesses claimed that Bakaev was taken away by the Chechnyan government, more specifically, Special Rapid Deployment Security Forces, or SOBR. He was thrown in the back of a car and taken away in broad fucking daylight. Of course, the government denied any involvement with his disappearance, but it's fairly obvious that's what happened. So why did they do this? Well, Chechnya is known for their notorious systematic purging of members of the LGBT in the Republic. Around the time of the disappearance in 2017, they were really heavily cracking down on their anti-LGBT laws, and taking them...
Yo, imagine something like that going down here. That would be nuts.
...to concentration camps where they would be tortured, starved, and murdered.
Yo, whoa, that's a little extreme there.
Bakaev was openly gay, so I'm sure you can connect the dots there.
Oh, poor guy, yo, honestly. Damn, because at first I was like, yo, see, that's exactly why I don't want that type of fame, or fame at all, really, because we're all just the same. But see, then that right there, that's exactly why I don't want to be getting. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
There. Later that year, Bakaev reappeared on the internet on a throwaway YouTube channel, saying that he was now living in Germany and he's doing quite well.
Good. Jeez, I'm glad to find out he wasn't tortured and murdered.
This is kind of a similar situation to Chris Lee, as who is supposed to be Bakaev is talking and acting in a way that family members and friends noted are extremely out of character. The video also took place in a room that was markedly not German, featuring furniture and beverages that did not exist in Germany. The room is more aligned with somewhere in Chechnya or somewhere in Russia. It's widely believed that either Bakaev was forced to make this video against his will, or it was just some guy who looked like him. Either way, it's really haunting. Since this video, Bakaev has never been heard from again, and the Chechnyan government has repeatedly denied any involvement with his disappearance.
Oh. You know what it is? Right? I say this. Ooh, I just got chills. See? That must mean I'm about to spit at least something I regard as truth, or essentially as close to the truth. Is a lot of artists have a lot of influence on the mic. I'm not sure if you guys already know this or connect the dots, or it's like a no-brainer to some people. But of course, if he was openly gay and then saying that stuff in a place where they crack down like that, then they were probably looking at it like, this guy has a lot of influence on the microphone. This dude's gonna influence people to like think they can be whatever they want, or do this, or be gay, be happy being open. And to that I say, one, good for the artist, because that's essentially what every creator wants to do, whatever respect to whatever art form it is. It's to inspire. What sucks is that maybe it was like a untimely situation of him gaining a lot of fame, though you know, I don't really have much more to say about that. But also very brave and bold of him to still be openly who he was, knowing that it was that strict. He had to have known, right? He had to have known. There's no way he didn't know that they were that strict on that. So that's that type of authenticity that I respect so much, because it's yourself. Like, you got to be you. Even when you're in the lion's den, you got to be you. That brings so much, like, that's such a big key component to self-love and to like feeling very confident in yourself. The fact, because there's no way he didn't know, possibility, but to me, there's no way he didn't know that like wasn't gonna fly, and he still openly was himself. Gotta respect it. A lot of people wouldn't stand on that like that, especially in a, that's just like, I don't even gotta give an example or an analogy. It's just like, imagine you go to a place. I'm gonna use French toast because I like eating French toast. You go to a place that just denies all French toast eaters. They'll hang French toast. They'll lynch French toast eaters. Let me stop. And I go there, and I'm just like, I just whip out my travel pack, like those camper videos you see, or those ones where they're cooking in the wilderness, and I just start cooking up in the town center with some French toast. Like, what? And it's like I'm walking around saying I got the best French toast in this French toast forbidden town. Or yeah, it's late. It's 1:32. That's why I decided to shoot this. I knew it'd be funny. But Joseph Martelli, and shout out to that dude. It is very odd that they come back with a very strange video where, like, because the other guy's case I can understand with the whole China, because he was like an investigative journalist, right? But with his video, I don't really get that. He came back acting weird, like maybe they what is it? What is it? Maybe they what is it? What is it? What is it? What is it? Oh my gosh, let me remember the name. MK Ultra. I just remembered it. Haven't said that.
One homophobia-related entry into the next. Sorry. Joseph Martelli was a vlogger who was a former gay man who at one point became a hardcore Catholic and obsessively hateful towards the LGBT community. One of the videos
That's
to gain
nice.
him notoriety was the one where he's standing in front of a porn magazine store in his hometown of Niagara Falls, New York, ranting about how everyone there is committing homosexual acts, sucking each other off, and throwing poop against the wall. As the video goes on though, it kind of just ends up feeling more sad than anything. Joseph's one of those Christians that believe that once you commit a sin, your soul cannot be saved and you are eternally destined for God's punishment.
Christians.
Saying,
If you've been getting scam texts like
I love how I skip, and I wish I kept it rolling instead of clipping it. I just skipped to a part where Swag wins, I'm gonna kill you over and over.
myself forever and ever is probably not how you're meant to look at it. Another video he had in Niagara Falls, New York, ranting about how everyone there is committing homosexual acts, sucking each other off, and throwing poop against the wall. As the video goes on though, it kind of just ends up feeling more sad than anything. Joseph's one of those Christians that believe that once you commit a sin, your soul cannot be saved and you are eternally destined for God's punishment. You'd think he's a hypocrite until
Christians.
he starts talking about how he's included in those who deserve to be punished. Interpreting the Bible's message as, oh, I should hate myself forever and ever is probably not how you're meant to look at it. Another video he had was one where he said they should put every LGBT person on an island and then they'll all die out because they can't reproduce with each other, implying that being gay is genetic. Now, his videos were very easy to make fun of, so that's exactly what many YouTubers did, like The Amazing Atheist, Mr. Repsian, and The Drunken Peasants, the latter of which took the brunt of his wrath, which is one of the 7 deadly sins, by the way. He made dozens of videos ranting about these channels and even threatening
7 the blunt is wrath. Nice. That was cool. Who is running?
them with physical harm. He's a bit of a lol cow, I guess, so I'll just link you to a video by this fellow YouTuber with swag in the name.
Monkey hate.
Monkey hate is a really bizarre corner of the YouTube community that many people have been noticing over the past couple of years. However, evidence suggests that it's been a thing on the site since the early 2010s. Essentially, people will upload videos and make these playlists of wildlife videos that have to do with monkeys crying, in pain, distress, or even in some cases dying. Whether these things be at the hands of nature, like the monkeys are being attacked by predators, or even in some cases being harmed by humans, like
I have seen these.
being hit by a car, or even intentionally abused, although those are truthfully less common. Besides the intentional animal abuse ones, most of these videos are allowed to be up on the site, as they're just wildlife videos that are technically harmless and show no ulterior motive of enjoying the monkeys being hurt. It's just, you know, how nature is. However, the comment sections are where shit starts to seem far less innocent and a lot more inflammatory and cruel. They'll mainly focus.
I seen a video pop up on my Instagram of like a monkey's head getting like chewed, and or like it was getting licked by a bunch of lions, and I was like, oh, damn. And the monkey was just sitting there like it knew it was over. I was like, nah, man, that was a ass video to see. All right.
On the videos of baby monkeys, more specifically baby macaques. They'll call them names like rats, vermin, monsters, and other degrading names, and will even fantasize about beating and abusing the helpless animals. Just looking at a random video in one of the playlists, this video features a baby macaque as he realizes his mother is gone, frantically looking around for her and crying out in distress. One commenter says, quote, "I hope it never finds its way to mother or anything that would comfort it." Another says, "What a perfect opportunity for chop chop tail." Another says, "Someone needs to light up that little swamp troll and sit back and enjoy the show," with a reply that says, "Hell yeah." One of the commenters seems a bit sympathetic towards the infant primate, saying the panic on his face when he realizes he is all alone is heartbreaking. However, the comment has several replies that seem to
I was just about to say, what are the replies to this comment? I guarantee.
disagree with the sentiment. Quote, "It's friggin' hilarious. I love seeing them terrified, lol. They're just stupid tree rats. These vile beasts are always in a damn panic. Nothing better than when mom leaves them and they lose what little brains they have." Now, what I just showed you is far from the cruelest these videos or comments will be to the animals. I just kind of picked a random one, but a huge question still remains of why. Well, there's a bunch of Quora articles asking why the
Wait a second. I just connected something, but I'm not gonna say.
These groups of people exist and why they're so large in numbers too. This user says that they are a member of the baby monkey haters and they wouldn't really hurt it if they could, they just fantasize about it, so that makes it okay. They say baby monkeys disgust them because they're
Okay, but okay. I don't want to get into multiple universe like theories right now and parallel universes. But if someone okay,
they're imitating humans and that they're pathetic, whiny, helpless little shits. The way they cling to their surrogates or anything soft and throw tantrums when pried away is just pathetic. They spaz out and cry when left alone for 2 seconds, but aren't cute like puppies being crate trained. To me, it's simply offensive how human-like yet ugly and pathetic they are. These types of people are not only surprisingly numerous, but also incredibly easy to find even after all the public outcry about this community. If you look up monkey hate on YouTube right now, you'll get 2 video essays and then it just goes straight into the playlist of videos. It's just a weird subculture and
it is, but at the end of the day, you can't censor them, right? Unless it goes like, you know, it gets volatile and it goes down south, you can't censor them. Because then, might as well say goodbye to everything. Better start censoring everything. It's just it's such a slippery slope, but they're free to do. They're free to do. For me, as long as like, you don't tread on other people's path, right? So as long as they would never go out and hurt them. But that's also why I wanted to talk about intent and energy, right? So I want to give you an example. If you were about, let's give one that maybe could happen. Say you were driving in a car. Somebody cut you off. And you get the urge, this emotion builds up in you to just start cursing, wilding out, being like, you know, just F you. Why'd you cut me off, right? If that happens, right, and we think about parallel universes, in a universe somewhere, you actually did do that, even if you stopped yourself, right? Because, you know, okay, I'm getting a little bit esoteric. In the spiritual community, people like to say, I'm not saying, like, I don't even like calling it spiritual community, bro. It's so weird, but let's just say metaphysics, the metaphysical community, because there's a wide variety of people doing things, is that you're a multi-dimensional being having a human experience. Well, if that were true, right, then that means and if the universe runs on frequency, vibration, and energy, the energy of that coming up within you means even though you didn't do it here and you wouldn't actually physically hurt them here, doesn't mean you haven't in another life. Not only that, if that's the energy that comes up, then that means that's who you are because of what people would see you do, which then also poses the question that's like, well, are you saying you wouldn't hurt them because that's genuine? Or are you saying you wouldn't hurt them because you want to get away with it? I know I went on a whole little metaphysical thing to bring it just back to some like obvious, because it really, like, that is a lot of like spiritual shit anyways, but it's the most common sense kind of thing. But it's like, imagine that. It's like, yeah, I just like, I can't come up with an analogy right now because I'm too tired. I was gonna say some stuff like I have a kid, and then it's like, oh yeah, I love to see kids fall when they're trying to get their first steps while they walk. And no, I would never like intentionally make my son or daughter trip so I can feel good about, like, it's like, well, if you have to say that, I don't know, man. Not in every case, but I don't know, man. I don't know. It's like, well, would you have if nobody, you know?
YouTube hasn't really done anything to crack down on it over the years.
I could see. I honestly think, I don't know. I think YouTube knows when to lay their hand down. I mean, I don't gotta tell the big ass corporation what to do. If it gets out of hand, they should smack down the band hammer. It does, like, to me though, if I would, let's say I was the entity YouTube, I would look at that a little bit and like maybe some comment moderate slightly, but again, slippery slope, because they'll just start it's already enough now with cursing and stuff, man.
Edward Mcare, better known by his YouTube username Edorim, was one of the first users to gain popularity on the site, uploading as far back as 2006. He was another one of those eccentric elderly YouTubers. He is, as you can tell, very creepy looking, and would gain popularity because of this, using his appearance to his advantage. Some of his most popular videos,
I don't know how I'm gonna turn white though,
include lip syncing to popular songs like
I'll figure it out.
Pretty Woman, and also some other antics like this video Back Scratcher, where he's shirtless and his dog comes up to him and starts biting his stomach. Okay. I personally recognize him from those videos where people would go on Omegle or Chat Roulette and set their video to his face to creep people out. I don't know if that's just an experience that's unique to me, but yeah. He actually has a history of being a television presenter and entertainer, being the host of 41 Treehouse Lane, a local broadcasting children's program aired in Kansas City, and also a late night show called Uncle Ed's All Night Live. And it was through this television history that his YouTube channel really got to shine. All things considered, Edward was a fairly celebrated user of the site and had a loyal fan base. However, through looking at more of his past, people found out...
Oh no, here we go. Can't ever just be something normal.
That in 1986, he was arrested for sexual battery, more specifically for fondling a 14-year-old boy. He was sentenced to prison for 18 months and served 10 years of probation. He never offended again, stating on record that he would never do so. On his YouTube channel, he never really disclosed what his real name was or his criminal past, and for a while, people didn't know. In 2007, he moved from Florida to South Carolina, citing harassment from his neighbors. When he did this, he didn't inform authorities, which you're kind of supposed to do. And in 2009, 3 years after the creation of his YouTube channel, he was told to stop uploading YouTube videos altogether, as courts saw it as him dodging the sex offender registry. He didn't really have anything going for him in the later years of his life beyond YouTube though, so he instead got the idea to record videos, send them to his friend, and then that friend would upload them for him. He figured this was the perfect loophole, but prosecutors disagreed, seeing it as a violation of his probation, eventually sentencing him to 5 years in prison in 2010. And then finally, he died in prison of lung cancer in 2012. Now, parallels might be drawn in your mind to another elderly YouTuber who was found to have a dark past, Plasma Master Dawn. However, Edward's story is a lot more polarizing and morally ambiguous. While Dawn was on the registry for a sexual crime he committed literally a year before he gained YouTube fame, Edward had done his time for his crime years prior. Dawn was using his YouTube channel to interact with people much younger than him, but Ed was simply there to entertain, which is what he had always done, and he didn't really pose any immediate threat to anyone. But then again, should someone who once preyed on a child like that ever be forgiven for their sins, no matter how long ago it was? Maybe not. It's all really up to personal perspective, and it's a moral dilemma that's a bit too nuanced to have a clear right answer. Although, not abiding by the rules of the sex offender registry was kind of a stupid move no matter which way you look at it.
Yeah. Maybe he just, I don't know, man. I'm not gonna make up any defenses for your boy. But yeah.
Louise Paxton was another YouTuber who peaked in popularity around the late 2000s. She made vlogs detailing her life story like many other users at the time would do. According to the description, she
somnophilia.
Moved to London in 2007.
She's gonna play with her eyelids.
And soon after moving, she would be the victim of stalking for 2 months before mysteriously disappearing in July of the same year. The videos on the channel would focus on her dealing with her stalker, and wouldn't you know it, it's another ARG officially titled In the Dark, directed and starred by Zoe Richards, who's like an actual actor now. I would recommend a video essay explaining it, but honestly, just watch it for yourself. It's pretty easy to just watch all the way through as a horror experience, unlike a lot of other ARGs, which are far more cryptic.
Oh shoot. Let's save that one. I'll just watch it. Louise Paxton. I remember it off the top. of my head. All right, let's go. East Area.
Joseph James D'Angelo, better known as the East Area Rapist or the original Night Stalker, was an infamous serial killer, rapist, and burglar who committed several crimes across the state of California. He was one of the most infamous serial killers the nation has ever seen, and I could go on and on about his crimes and how he would call his victims over the phone and taunt them. But I'm not going to get super in-depth about it, as there's tons of documentaries that you can watch that would do it much better than I ever could. However, this entry specifically refers to a recording that Joseph would leave on one of his victims' voicemails. It's a 30-second video uploaded to YouTube, and the audio is just him breathing heavily into the mic, saying, "I'm gonna kill you," over and over again. It's pretty freaky stuff. Amos Yee, sometimes known as Kino or Pollicle, is a Singaporean former YouTuber, child actor, and blogger. He gained popularity as far back as the early 2010s with his first video, Jan, being made when he was only 13 years old, and he submitted it to the first film festival run by his local newspaper. He won the award for Best Acting and Best Short Film, beating out the competition when he, again, was so young he looked like this. As a result for winning, he was given a video camera and editing software, and from there he started a YouTube channel. He stated that the first videos were very heavily inspired by comedy YouTubers from the time, like Smosh, Nigahiga, Shane Dawson, and his favorite, the Angry Video Game Nerd. Following the success of the film festival, Yee caught the attention of Jack Neo, and he played a minor role in the 2012 film We Not Naughty. Soon after the release of the film, Yee would again make national headlines for a video he uploaded criticizing the Chinese New Year and calling it a ripoff of the Western New Year. Obviously very clearly a satirical video that's kind of juvenile more than offensive, but it still managed to spark quite a bit of controversy. Over the next couple of years, Amos's content would transition from comedy skits to more commentary on social issues, shifting the creators he looked up to from AVGN to The Amazing Atheist, if you remember that guy. In 2015, the first Prime Minister of Singapore, Lee Kuan Yew, died of severe pneumonia. 5 days later, Amos uploaded a video to YouTube titled Lee Kuan Yew
I like how you put the piece.
Is finally dead, where he criticized the leader posthumously, saying that he's similar to Jesus Christ and that he was, quote, power hungry and malicious, but deceives others into thinking they are both compassionate and kind. You know, he had to work in hating Christianity somewhere in there. It was just...
Yeah, wait, what? I don't know if there's any Christians watching, but I was actually talking about this with a few dudes at work too, that Jesus was raw. I just actually read the Bible like the other night, literally like 2 nights ago. Jesus was raw, but I'm not gonna speak to. Okay, I'll just speak from our perspective. Christians, don't get mad at me in the comments if there are any Christians. But I just realized, like, again, because I had an actual awakening, and I had people say I was blessed by the devil. I've predicted things to happen, yada, yada. Y'all know the whole 9 yards. I predicted my grandma to die. I predicted car crashes. Lots of fun, funky stuff in my life. And one of the things that made me, like, stay away from religion but then look into it was being told that I was blessed by the devil. Then I ended up realizing that, wow, Jesus went through the same thing I did. So Jesus was raw. If you actually understand what the scriptures are saying, it's just speaking of who you are. And Jesus was literally like, all right, those of you who can hear me, let's go. Everybody else, leave them, bro. They don't get... He was dope. He was dope. He was dope. He was dope. Like, if he existed or if he didn't, again, like stuff I found in spiritual representations is he represents the Christ consciousness, which is also the Christos, the crystalline structure, and we're crystalline beings, or we're carbon based, but you know, crystalline in structure. I could go on and on about this shit, but it's just funny because it's like people who like him, if he threw in hating Christianity, if you actually understood the message and not the figure, and not everybody who used, like, you know, used the Bible as an excuse to like slaughter masses of people, it's like, it's actually not that bad, you know. And I'm one of those people that is like, don't knock it till you try it. Not with everything, but that was one of the things I was like, I don't ever want to touch the Bible. Then I touched it the other day and I'm like, bro, I'm Jesus. What the fuck? I was going through all of this. Everyone turned on me. Everyone was calling me. Not everyone, but I had people calling me crazy. Everything, you know, asking that. Oh, do a magic trick if you predict the man. Everything, bro. So I got to ride for my dude Jesus. Nah, got to ride for him. It's just like what he's supposed to represent. He's just a symbol.
Kind of the thing on 2015 YouTube. This video is obviously very controversial, especially when you consider that Amos was a pretty big name in Singapore at the time. He received several violent threats online, and many public figures called him things like a wannabe intellectual, which is kind of true. 32 police reports were filed against Amos after the upload of the video, and another was against Amos's blog, where he posted a drawing of Lee Kuan Yew fucking former British Prime Minister Margaret Thatcher in the ass.
Swag is so bold for just cursing like that, especially even if this is a year ago, dude, because YouTube censorship is crazy. Swag, I wonder what like you're getting off of the ads off of this. I don't know if they're doing well, but not like, I don't even know if that matters to you, but like me, I get like pennies. So because I mean, I curse. It's me. I don't really want to hold myself back too much, but damn.
On March 29th,
because literally there are certain YouTubers who won't even say kill because kill will, like, the algorithm catches that. Saying the things like earlier, like RAPE, SEX, assault, all of that gets flagged. So I love that you can tell that. Well, sorry, I'm like fucking put words in his mouth, but it's more of passion and project. He loves the site, and it's cool to see because that makes me feel like, you know, seeing someone else do it, and that's why I say we all inspire each other, makes me feel like, okay, continue to just be me, because I don't like to, I always ask myself when I end up like reducing cursing in a video, like, oh, but it don't feel like me. But I can go a whole entire video without it, but
2015,
it doesn't feel natural.
Amos Yee was arrested on the grounds of deliberate intention of wounding the religious or racial feelings, threatening abusive or insulting communication, and obscenity. You have to remember that while Singapore is a fairly free nation, they don't exactly have free speech, or at least not at the time, and a lot of that is in part thanks to the laws put in place by the very man Amos was criticizing. Anyways, this led to a several months long trial, including some jail time, Amos getting bailed out by a Christian pastor, then proceeding to falsely accuse said pastor of molesting him for some reason. And the whole thing was just a giant media controversy in not only Singapore, but also internationally as well. After he was freed from jail, Amos Yee made a Facebook post like 3 months later, criticizing Islam, spending another 6 weeks in jail for hurting religious feelings. Like, unironically, that's what he was charged with. After he got out of jail again, he fled the country to the United States, where he was detained at the Chicago airport and spent yet another 4 months in jail.
Why is he looking around like that?
Him for some reason, and the whole thing was just a giant media controversy in not only Singapore, but also internationally as well. After he was
I feel like a lot of it, I'm gonna be completely honest with you. Hang on, I'll say
freed from jail, Amos Yee made a Facebook post like 3 months later, criticizing Islam, spending another 6 weeks in jail for hurting religious feelings. Like, unironically, that's what he was charged with. After he got out of jail again, he fled the country to the United States, where he was detained
why is he
at the Chicago airport and spent yet
that may just be his mannerisms. Maybe there was a lot of people in front of him. I don't know. But what I will say is I feel like a lot of the time that either this stuff is just divinely guided. Someone could probably do the gematria of these dates and certain things and find some weird connections and synchronicities. I remember when I did a gematria video on Rachel Zegler and Critical and Sneeko, that the gematria ended up lining up, and that blew my mind. You guys go see that video if you want. But somebody ended up commenting that gematria was the language of God because it's like 0, 1's binary code, everything. But one thing I will say is that's why I find situations like this weird. I can't tell. Like, I get that the guy may just be, this is the character he evolved into. This is the character he's playing. Well, but like part of it's not a character. He's actually going at these. Well, it is a character because we all wear a mask. Some less heavy. Okay, I'm getting too deep. But the point is, I can't tell if it's staged. It feels like it's staged, and not like him going to jail, but him acting as this character is really blown out of proportion, or maybe he's in over his head, and maybe he's kept it up for too long that he's like, now I can't drop the character. But it feels weird, like it feels distraction-y. Anytime it has to do, like, it feels distraction-y to me.
Another
Like, I'm glad I don't focus on shit like this. I'm glad I never knew who this was.
4 months in jail before the judge ruled that Amos would be granted asylum. So he was finally back to doing what he does best, interacting on social media and uploading YouTube videos. Surely he wouldn't squander this opportunity. Well, in November 2017, Amos published a weird amount of statements defending pedophiles and pedophilia, including 3.
You're lying. You see what I'm saying? What? How does someone keep just going? How do you go from innocent child likes filming videos and skits and stuff to then, like, you see the slow progression into it, then making fun of a holiday, satirical, just joke, yeah. Then you evolve into wanting to do some, like, political commentary stuff here and there. Okay. Then you go just straight for just the gusto. I get it, it slowly, like, went up to it. But then this is like, what? It's like, oh, I'm in the public eye. Maybe somebody, I don't know, this is getting conspiratorial, but like got in contact with him. It's like, keep this, like, you know, bad publicity is good publicity, keep it going. But then why this part? How do you evolve into this part?
YouTube videos titled, quote, "Why Pedophilia is Alright, Don't Discriminate Pedophiles," and "Free Speech for the Pedophile,"
Nice.
the latter of which he compares being a pedophile to what he had to go through in his home nation. These videos have just comically ridiculous justifications for pedophilia, like saying children can consent to sex in the same way they can pick what toy they like. He was banned from Facebook, Twitter, Patreon, and after an advertiser pulled their ads from YouTube after hearing about his antics, YouTube swiftly terminated his account. And finally, you'll never fucking guess how this story ends. In October 2020, Amos Yee was arrested for possession of child pornography, more specifically exchanging nude photos with a 14-year-old girl. He's currently sitting in prison with a sentence of 6 years. I believe this is one of the longest entries on the Iceberg, but even then I was just kind of scratching the surface. If you want more info, check out Amos Yee, Never the Hero by Turkey Tom and Bernie Vids.
Never the
For
hero.
real this time.
What I will say about that is I actually see how it can turn out like that. A lot of attention, really young, came at him pretty quick. But, you know, really wanting to be in the limelight, wanting to be like the center of attention. Maybe not at first, maybe just truly it was a passion thing, but then he got in over his head and it did a flip. It did a whole 180. Then when the political commentary and stuff probably started catching fire, then it was just like, from there he was like, yeah, feed me. I got to keep this up. And then the ego ran rampant. But again, I feel like when people do these acts, that energy was already in them. Like, and then they just slowly start revealing it over time. Tough, dude, tough. Well, I mean, not tough. It was his choice, but like, not tough, actually. Well-deserved plays stupid games, win stupid prizes. But this dude wasn't even playing a game. This was who he was. Dude, some of these creators blows my mind, man. Blows my mind. Let's go. No, guys, I was paused. Oh, I gotta see where it stopped at, damn. Okay, so we stopped. Was this him? This guy? I think this was the next one. Let me see. Yeah, okay, so the life-size dolls. I'm gonna sum up. I was like, what, brother? I was like, what? I was kind of digging it. I'm not gonna lie. Especially when it got to this image right here. I was like, okay, I'm kind of digging it. I was like, I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. Then Swag was saying that this was even odd for furry standards because furry stuff is more accepted now today, but this was even weird back then for like furry standards, blah blah blah. then he made these with his wife, and he had a site, and I was like, whoa, that's kind of dope. And then I was like, see, man, okay, man, if this dude has a full-on wife and he's making the stuff with his wife, stuff, y'all can find your other half. But then it went to this. So this guy decided to leave his wife and start a new life. Here's his photo album. So like, what the tragic truth behind the disappearance of him? Oh, and it was also cool that Reddit didn't know who he was. They were just like, this guy with the who is this guy with the giant sex dolls? But man, and then it got to that he decided to leave his wife. What? It better have not been for the freaking life-size polar bears, bro.
So I'll just link a video by an underrated YouTuber called Uli Kuz in the description where he goes pretty in depth.
I'm sorry, guys.
Save the Kids.
You're gonna hate me. No, I'm not gonna say. Should I say it? No, I'm not gonna say it.
It was a cryptocurrency token or coin or whatever they're called that was essentially a scam that disguised itself as a charity, allegedly headed by Fraser Cattry, better known online as FaZe K. Originally
Fraser Cattry? I didn't know that was his name. I knew he was like FaZe K. I don't know nothing about the FaZe members.
Developed by
I remember the one is his brother, younger brother or something, got banned. I don't.
This is Carvana.
Carvana, no. Sorry guys, Carvana wanted to hop in there. All right, let's go.
an anonymous person going by the pseudonym Lucas. It had heavy similarities both in name and logo to Save the Children, one of the largest charities in history. The coin was widely promoted by popular influencers like Rice Gum and basically every member of FaZe Clan, only some of which knew that this was a pump and dump scheme. Now, I'm not going to pretend like I know a lot about how cryptocurrency works, but CoffeeZilla did a thorough investigation into the quote-unquote charity, so go watch his videos about the subject, or Andre Turbia's quick summary.
Mimospor.
Going from one internet...
I wonder what sparks the interest in some of these like large creators, because they're pretty big. It's like, is it like just a whole cesspool of one, distraction to the masses, keep your attention on them, or who people who are interested in them. Two, also stir up the pot, make a lot of money really quickly, get in, get out. So, you know, take advantage of people. And three, well, distract the masses was going to kind of be the one that comes around again, because it's like it'll stir up controversy and their names will just get bigger that they're scammers and stuff. So it's like, it's odd, man. This stuff is odd, bro.
Subculture I know nothing about to the next. Mimospor is a channel created in 2013, and from what it seems, it was an ARG headed by Michael Kirkbride, a former writer and designer at Bethesda, and I guess it tied into the inhumanly expansive Elder Scrolls lore. There's some creepy videos on the channel that I'm sure make perfect sense if you're an insano Elder Scrolls lore buff, but for other people, it just kind of feels like another ARG. That's really all I think I'm capable of understanding about this channel. Nowadays, it would appear as if the channel has been taken over by a podcast called the Selectives Lorecast, run by a couple of huge Elder Scrolls fanatics.
Oh, cool. I think we'll stop at 30 minutes.
On February 20th, 2003, a concert was being held by the American rock band Great White at a nightclub in West Warwick, Rhode Island, called The Station. As part of the performance, tour manager David Bichelle used a pyrotechnic display lighting off fireworks. What he didn't know is that the walls and ceilings had acoustic foam in them in order to keep the room soundproof. Acoustic foam is highly flammable, and within seconds, fire could be spotted on both sides of the band, and within minutes, the entire club was set ablaze, with lead singer Jack Russell simply saying, "Wow, that's not good." The concert had 462 people in attendance, while the maximum capacity was supposed to be around 404. The nightclub also notably did not have a sprinkler system installed and had very poor ventilation. There were 4 possible exits for people to leave through, but most people headed for the front door through which they had entered, most likely because they weren't very familiar with the layout of the building. One survivor even alleged that a bouncer blocked off one of the doors, as it was a door that only the band was allowed to use. No way of proving that, obviously, but if it's true, that might be one of the most infuriating things about all of this, to be honest. Anyways, thanks to the massive amount of people trying to escape through the front entrance, the crowd was so dense in the narrow hallway leading to the door that movement was impossible, and there was no way for anyone who tried the front entrance to escape. Of the 462 in the building, 100 died, 230 were injured, and a measly 132 escaped uninjured, which is only about a fourth of the total attendance. Ty Longley, the guitarist for Great White, also died in the fire, reportedly after running back into the building to retrieve his guitar. It's gone down as one of the deadliest nightclub fires in United States history, especially impactful when you remember that it was in Rhode Island, the smallest state in the country, where everyone lives within an hour of each other. Daniel Bichelle claimed full responsibility of the tragedy, pleading guilty to 100 counts of involuntary manslaughter, sentenced to 10 years in prison. However, after he wrote individual letters to family members of the 100 people killed, he was released early at the request of several of the families. How this all relates to YouTube, though, is that footage from the fire was recorded and re-uploaded by a channel called Horror Stories, and it's about as disturbing as you might imagine.
Ooh, yeah. Because after you know, and then you go back, it's like the Lisa Lamb video. Damn. Me time? Alright, guys. Much love in Moonlight. I'm going to see you guys in the next part. This one was fun. Let me know which your favorite part of half of this was. I gotta say, the grim stuff is kind of like my favorite, but it's so just dark. I mean, more creators turning in, like you guys already told me ahead of time, we're gonna run into even more people that kind of, well, no. Were the comments saying that it kind of dies down now for people who done twisted things, or we'll get like a couple? But I mean, they're still coming. You get at least aside from creators, like creators aside, still got some characters on this list. All right, I will shoot the next part tomorrow when I am less tired, because I need to lay down. I enjoyed this. Hope you guys enjoyed this. Much love in Moonlight. I'm gone. Remember to be authentic.